And Korea go crashing out of the Asia Cup at the hands of Jordan in what was an embarrassing performance, which caps off a pretty much embarrassing tournament, to be honest, for South Korea, which is a pain for all of us to see. But we're going to go around the internet and see how the internet did react to that painful loss. And we're going to start off with THFC Kieran. He goes, South Korea, I have the man for you. You know who it is?
Wait for it.
Wait for it. Could be.
Yeah, get him in. Get him in. Although, if we thought you were bored of zombie football,
you know what I mean?
More zombie football. But look, at least he would have a plan, I think. At least he'll have an idea. Jurgen has got to go. If it means bringing Jose in, I think they'll all take that.
And you definitely won't if you see smiles if you're losing with him.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Big Baller Ange and the lads say, make him catch his own flight home. This should be the end of his management career. Absolute fraud. And that is Klinsmann walking off the pitch, smiling today after losing 2-0 to Jordan in a semi-final.
Yeah.
How could you?
And that was a reply that says, the way you have the audacity to smile when your team has just lost the worst manager with the worst tactics and the worst attitude to ever exist. A lot of angry people at Jurgen Klinsmann
Rightly
tonight.
so.
Yeah,
rightly
look.
so. Not only does he have the worst, non-existent tactics, but he has the audacity to smile as he's walking off the pitch.
Yeah, and apparently a lot of the players haven't taken to him as well. It's just a bit of a mess. But next one is interesting.
Yeah. Sung Mo Lee says, Klinsmann refused to resign as South Korea head coach, although there are huge criticism and pressure on him from the Korean fans and media right now. He said he'll return to South Korea with the team and analyse this tournament and prepare for the next one.
Resign. Do the honourable thing.
Forget resign. He needs to get sacked. The Korean FA should sack him.
He can't carry on as Korea manager based on what I saw in that tournament. I know they got to the semi-finals. He'll maybe argue it wasn't that bad, but we all saw the performances. We all saw how they played. It was terrible. They got lucky to get to the semis. We've seen enough of Jurgen, I think.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it, though? Because, Spurs legend. It's just so unfortunate that it has to be this way.
But the players aren't playing for him.
Yeah.
They're not. That's reality.
Charlie Beasley says, South Korea have now 28 months to prepare for the start of the 2026 World Cup. Get rid of Klinsmann now and bring someone interested and passionate about Korea and their culture who is also tactically adept.
Yeah, that's also something I've all criticised him for. Apparently, he doesn't live in Korea, lives out in the US, hasn't taken to the Korean culture and all that stuff. So maybe that's also something that when things are going wrong, people are going to throw at you.
Get Paolo Bento back in. At least he lived in Korea and took to Korean culture, and he used to scout players in the KFA, in the Korean league as well. Apparently, Klinsmann hasn't gone to watch one Korean league game at all.
That's not good enough. He doesn't seem interested. He seems a bit lazy.
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know about Paolo Bento did all right, got to round of 16 at the World Cup, but I just like some fresh ideas, a new guy, someone who's going to maybe get
fresh ideas, some ideas.
Just someone who's going to get Korea on the front foot.
Yeah. Library Mini is showing a picture of Son and his fingers plastered up today. Wonder where that came from.
Didn't see that in the last game. I wonder if I hope they're not broken or anything, or with something that's serious. But he's all strapped up. Hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah. This next one is just Sonny being completely manhandled by that really physical centre-back, which was Al Arab today in the game. And I just hope he comes back to Spurs just completely injury-free, because he did get pushed around a bit today, didn't he?
I think that's happened the whole tournament. He's been taking a bit of a beating. So let's hope he rests up and he's okay to come back to Tottenham. But these kind of incidences, and also they don't seem to get booked or punished. They just seem to be allowed to happen. It's been very frustrating for Sonny. So I feel for him. I feel like he's been targeted a bit this tournament because they know how good he is.
Yeah, best player in the tournament. Bell says, you did everything you could, Sonny. Now get some rest. You need that. And he most definitely does need some rest. But is he going to get that rest? Game around the week, on the weekend.
Do you reckon he comes back into the squad on Saturday?
Yeah, Pape Sarr came in and was on the bench. We saw him for 25 minutes or so at the end of that Everton game. So it might be the same case for Sonny. Maybe he'll start on the bench and bring him on in the last stages.
Yeah, knowing Sonny, I reckon he'll want to start.
He'll definitely want to start. He'll wanted to start too.
He'll want to be back involved. He's the captain as well. He's going to feel that responsibility to be back in. I don't think he will start. Just because it's been a very taxing tournament for him, but I do think he'll be back in the squad.
Yeah, look, twice he's been taken all the way to the end of extra time, and then in this one it did only last 90 minutes, but it must have been a tiresome game for him because he was running his high out, wasn't he? And he must have exerted a lot of energy. Nice one. Sonny tweets out saying the football was never sustainable, but it doesn't make the heartbreak any easier. Klinsmann has blood on his hands. Korea made it to the semi-finals despite, not because of him. Simply said, a shame what could have been. And yeah, it's pretty much what I've been saying all tournament, Even if South Korea win the tournament, I want Klinsmann to be sacked because it's just been shocking the way that they've played throughout the tournament.
Have to agree. I think even in the group stages, they had a very easy group stage, but they were like kind of not making it through games, conceding goals. The football's been terrible, just relying on individual brilliance. And Klinsmann, for a lot of this tournament, has not had no solutions to a lot of the problems that have been happening. And as well, it just seems as though the players near the end as well gave up on him a bit. And when that happens, it's hard to kind of get a U-turn on that.
Yeah, if Sonny doesn't love a manager, there's serious problems there because he loved everyone. I mean, I don't know a manager which he didn't love. And Klinsmann goes up to hug him after the game. I've never seen such a half-assed hug in my life.
Yeah, Sonny's a big hugger.
This one is from Kutison. Is just a picture of Klinsmann with many different crimes
that he should be arrested for. Lock him up. I think he's guilty of all of these crimes: illegal torture, theft, assault and battery, fraud, kidnapping, mutilation, heists, blackmail, and get him gone.
No context Korea football, just showing the stats from the game, and it's 2-0 to Jordan. 17 shots, 7 on target to Korea's 7 shots and 0 on target. How can you have 0 shots on target against Jordan in the semi-final? It just makes no sense.
Not good enough whatsoever to not create a single opportunity. Really
make sense.
Doesn't make any sense. And I can't, apart from the Cho chance from the corner, I don't even remember like a chance where I was like, oh, what a miss or anything like that. It was just poor.
Ryan Walters saying the difference between these two at full time says everything. Yeah, 100%. Look at Klinsmann walking off with that smile, and look how devastated Sonny is, and he just couldn't stop apologising either.
He doesn't help himself, does he, Klinsmann? Like, the only thing he doesn't, just don't smile at the end of the game. The only thing you have to do is look sad that you just lost the semi-final and don't smile, and he just couldn't help himself, could he? Yeah. He had to have a little bit of a smile.
And look at this one at the end of the game. He's literally got smiling from cheek to cheek. Look at that.
Expected smiles.
Unbelievable expected smiles. You thought we would have won.
Yeah.
That's a winning smile.
It is. That's the team who's made the final. Unfortunately, he hasn't.
There's another one of Sonny after the game, just with a dejected look on his face. What does that say?
I had the hardest time. He did have a difficult time, and he's getting commiserations, but yeah, sad for Son.
This one's from Maxwell. This is the South Korean FA to Klinsmann in the tunnel.
Yeah, I think that's probably what they need to do.
Yeah. Klinsmann out.
Get him gone.
This is another one, and just look at this Korean fan. Just you feel for him. You feel for him. He got there with all the face paint, ready to go, expecting his team to make the final.
Well, to be fair, I'm actually looking at it from the Brazil game in the World Cup, but I'm sure that's how all the Korean fans are feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And if he felt like that against Brazil, imagine what he's feeling now.
Absolutely, completely dejected.
Son Love says, Sonny is literally the kindest and sweetest person I know. Why can he never get what he wants? He always works so hard for his club and the national team, but it seems like his luck is never on his side. And it's so true, isn't he? He's probably like the nicest guy in football, got one of the highest qualities in football as well. And he's just always on the losing side.
Yeah, and it's why I was, even though, it's bad for Tottenham that he is at the Asia Cup, I did want him to get that trophy because he just deserves it for his career and what kind of person he is. So it's such a shame that he's fallen so late in the tournament. But let's hope Tottenham can change it for him.
Let's hope so. The stat says during this tournament, South Korea have been blowing opponents away. Have they?
It says should have been.
Oh, should have been blowing opponents away. By far the most talented team in the cup with Sonny, Hwang and Lee Kang-gin. There were rumours about Klinsmann's being on thin ice, but I'm sure he'll be sacked now because commiseration, Sonny. And that is so true. I mean, them in Japan were just like a mile above anyone in this tournament in terms of quality. And when you're looking at the front three, looking at Kim Min-jae as well, obviously he wasn't playing today. They should be just blowing away teams, battering teams left, right and centre. And they've won one game.
Yeah, it's mad to think about with the team they have. They only won one game. And even in that game, they had to make a comeback. And drew of Malaysia, drew Jordan in the group stages as well. Like even in the groups, they struggled through that, and they got lucky against Saudi and Australia. Last minute goals. Australia, they should have lost 3-0, but finally caught up with them in the Jordan game, and that's what happened.
Coco says, gave everything to Tottenham and kept us contenders up until we left for the Asia Cup, and then gave everything to Korea and kept us in it until the semi-finals. Sung Heung-min, you'll always be a legend for club and country. And that is 100% spot on.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
And this is Cho, THFC Cho, saying me right now. And that's just, again, Son looking completely dejected in that post-match interview. Jason Lee saying, you'll never be forgiven for playing this football with this golden generation of player. Fraud, but we knew that, didn't we? At the KFA.
Yeah, putting pressure on the Korean Football Association to act, because we all can see it on the pitch. He needs to go.
Feliz, just with another picture of that Klinsmann smile.
Everyone is just fuming at Klinsmann with that smile.
It feels like they're fuming more at this smile than anything else.
Literally, it's the worst crime he could have done. Be happy when they lose. Son would never do that. Son would never smile.
Cho, THFC Cho again saying Korea's first ever loss to Jordan in our history. Thank you, Klinsmann.
Gets worse, doesn't it?
Spurs OTM showing Sonny as well at the final whistle. Just didn't know what to do with himself, did he? He's just standing there.
Yeah, he
just looking around.
It looks like he can't quite believe it, but also kind of accepted it.
Yeah.
Shame.
And that is it. That's it for the way that the internet did react to that devastating 2-0 loss from on Korea from Jordan. But there is a silver lining, and that silver lining is Sonny will be coming back home to Tottenham, and hopefully we'll be seeing him this weekend at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.